Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. It's good to see you. Today we're going to review the Minecraft movie using my favorite method of reviewing films. This is an old method of reviewing movies passed down from my forefathers. I did have forefathers, but it's not a big deal. So we're going to take a look at the visuals, the story, the casting, and the acting, and then I'm going to share my personal feelings about the movie with you using the astrology review system. So again, I just want to thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you for coming to Astrolobox for these movie reviews. And I hope you enjoy hanging out here at the channel where we use astrology to divine the divine. Let's get into this movie review. So let's briefly go over the story here. Via IMDb, the story is about four misfits who are suddenly pulled through a mysterious portal into a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master this world while embarking on a quest with unexpected expert crafter, which would be Jack Black. So the movie stars Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Sebastian Hansen, Emma Myers, and Danielle Brooks. I think she's the lady from Peacemaker, which I did catch up on fairly recently. And if you're wondering how I feel about Peacemaker, I sort of feel like a Sagittarius about it. And there were parts of it that really made me feel like a Capricorn. So that's basically how I feel about Peacemaker. So when it comes to the story of Minecraft, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on. And it really takes a while to get through. But once you're sort of in the middle part of the movie, and then you sort of start seeing more about the characters, you spend more time with characters, it does really start to feel like a Taurus. But since we are in April, and what's the weather? It was a little rainy here last week. So the characters in the story, it's April, so it's more of like a Cancer or like a Leo. No, it's more similar to a Leo experience, honestly. But if you go into the movie expecting it to be bad, you're probably going to feel a little bit like a Virgo, and that's not a big deal, but overall, I would say the story is a Leo. So when it comes to the CGI graphics, it's kind of hard to get used to because you are looking at these realistic human characters, and you know, they're live action, and everything else is this cartoony world. But I think when it comes to achieving a balance there, the way that I personally feel about it is kind of like a Scorpio. You know, where it's like it doesn't feel like these things mesh, but then the more that you look at it, it starts to feel a little bit like a Virgo, if you know what I mean. I think you guys know what I mean. And so when it comes to the CGI graphics, honestly, I'm probably just going to say Sagittarius and just leave it there. Now the soundtrack and the audio was actually, I was expecting it to be bad, and I was paying close attention to just the sound effects and the audio, and there were some points during the film where I really felt like Aquarius, but really by the end of the film, I felt sort of vindicated, and then at that point, it was more of like a Pisces experience when it comes to the soundtrack and the audio. So I'm just gonna say Pisces. Now the casting, of course, we bring in rock star power like Jason Momoa and Jack Black, and I feel a decision like that's kind of like a sort of like a Cancer move. I mean, that's totally Cancer. But the movie did launch in April. And so I'm actually going to say it's more of a Taurus. I think the casting makes me feel like a Taurus. That's like a very Taurus decision. You know, it's always tough when you see kids acting in movies, and then you're always not sure, like, is this going to be any good or any bad? Honestly, for the boy, I would probably say, like, Scorpio. You know, his performance was basically Scorpio. And then the young girl, I would say, yeah, you know what? Aquarius. I think Aquarius is a fair way to judge the performance of the kids in that. But then overall, like the performance and the casting, picking of the characters, you know, the way that sometimes things kind of feel like a Capricorn. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to upset anyone. You know, it would be ridiculous if I said that the casting was like totally Virgo. I know people have gotten really pissed off at me in some of my previous videos for just saying, oh, it's just a Virgo and moving. I'm going to say Capricorn. Casting is a Capricorn. And the acting, the performances, yeah, look, it was a little bit mixed. Like, I wish I could say that it was all Aries. I wish I could say I wish I could say the performance was all Aries, but it's not. A little bit did feel like a Leo. The performance felt like a Leo in some places, and then other places it was more like a Sagittarius. And then at that point, I felt personally like a Scorpio attachment to it. So that's how I feel about that. It's Monday the it's Monday the 7th here in Australia. Let me just check my tomes here. Okay, no, Leo for the Pisces for act. Oh my God, guys, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. I was judging out of the wrong tome. Oh my God, that's so relatable. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Let me just double check my tome, and it is okay. Right. Okay, for story, I'm just checking my tones here. Story, I would give it a pretty even Aquarius, CGI graphics of Pisces, soundtrack and audio, it's a little bit mixed between Libra and Scorpio. Casting, it's a little all over the place. I'm going to say Virgo and Capricorn. And then the acting was a Leo and a Gemini. I'm just going to double check that, but I do need to read my tea leaves for that. So let me just down this tea real quick. Okay, let me check my tea leaves. Sorry. Okay, hold on here. Old technology, right? Okay. Oh, wow, that's so embarrassing. Okay. No. I just got to make an amendment here. Sagittarius for the casting. Capricorn and acting, but if you're watching this in May, it's April now. If you're watching this in May, that it's going to be Aries for the story, Gemini for the casting, and Sagittarius for the acting. That's it, everyone. That's my review on a Minecraft movie. I hope that helps you decide whether or not you should see this film. I hope that was really helpful to you. That's how I personally feel about it, you know? And it's, if you feel differently, let me know in the comment section if maybe you feel like the acting was a Libra. Maybe you felt like the story was a Scorpio. Let me know in the comment section below, but I just wanted to share my honest thoughts with you. That's just how I feel. Again, I wasn't paid to say this. I know people often comment and go, oh, you're this word, you're that word. You were paid to say that the story was an Aquarius. Look, if I think the story was an Aquarius, I'm going to be honest about it, and that's how it is. So thanks for watching the review. I hope this was enjoyable to you, and let me know your rating with the astrology signs here. Take care, everyone. Okay, I'll see ya. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you had a good laugh. I just basically made this stuff up all on the spot, just to have some fun. I recently launched a new homebrew game for the PSP called 4 Hours of Watching Paint Dry. I launched it on April Fools and people couldn't tell if it was a real game, but it is a real game, so you can download that on PSP. One of my latest games on the Nintendo Switch is Clash Your Ball. I just made a free version that you can download and play on Android, so whether you are using an Android game device that has hardware controls or you are using touch controls, the link to download that will be in the description. I was going to launch it a while back, but I was testing what the game felt like with ads, and I just felt the game wasn't that fun with ads getting in the way. So I took out the ads, so there's no monetization, so feel free to enjoy Clash Your Ball for free. And then if you would like that on the Nintendo Switch, that's available there. I'll put the links to that. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Be well.